Oh, how inevitable was this? How inevitable was this? Phillip Schofield, you remember, after all of the controversy, insisted that he was quitting television. He was done. He didn't want the fame. He accepted that what he'd done was wrong. Sure enough, he's back. He's back very quickly. And it's interesting, isn't it? Who is cancelled and who is not in society. So myself, Father Calvin Robinson, who's going to be here in just a moment, Lawrence Fox, we're completely thrust out of the mainstream media. I mean, thank goodness we don't want to be there anymore, but we're not given the opportunity for a comeback. Phillip Schofield is. Phillip Schofield, who we remember, shagged the young teenager in his dressing room at ITV, behind his wife's back. All is good now because the entertainment industry wants to embrace him again in a way that they haven't been prepared to re-embrace Noel Clarke, for example. I wonder why. What is the difference there? But if you haven't heard what I'm talking about, Phillip Schofield has been marooned on an island for a brand new 3-part, very sympathetic Channel 5 show, which is designed to see him return full-time to the entertainment industry. Here is the first look.
I've been cast away on a desert island completely on my own. All I have is camera gear, and I can say whatever I want about whatever I want. It's my chance to tell my side of my story. I know what I did was unwise, but is it enough to absolutely destroy someone?
Phillips.
But why does he need to come back in the mainstream media? He could have told his own story through social media, through the independent media. This has caused a lot of controversy, as you would imagine. The Daily Mirror's Mark Jeffries wrote on X, Schofield left this morning after lying about an affair with a man 34 years his junior from the show. Interviewed by the BBC's Amal Rajan in June 2023, he said, "I'm not in television anymore. I don't know even remotely how I move forward. What am I going to do with my days?" Adam Brooks added, had a very, very inappropriate relationship at work, lied to his family, lied to his co-stars and the whole nation, then was somehow hailed as a hero for being gay. I'd rather watch Keir Starmer on a loop than him, and that's saying something. Thanks. Now look, Father Calvin Robinson, I have to be very clear on this. Phillip Schofield was not guilty of any crime. But it is very interesting, isn't it? The way that the mainstream media are happy to rehabilitate certain people that fit their political agenda. So yourself, Lawrence Fox, myself, Mark Stein, Russell Brand, we don't fit the agenda. So we're not given a mainstream media comeback, but Phillip Schofield is.
There's two things going on here. One is that we don't fit the agenda. So you and myself and Lawrence and Russell Brand and people like that, we speak against the approved narrative. So of course they want us gone. They want us silenced. They want us censored. So we don't get the forgiveness and the return that other people do. But if you look at the people that do, there's been massive support for Hugh Edwards. There has been massive support for Phillip Schofield throughout. In fact, a lot of us knew dodgy stuff was going on with Phillip Schofield at the time, but we were not able to say so on our television platforms because of the expensive lawyers, because of the agreements, the gagging orders, and because the producers would not let it be said. And so it seems there's a protection going on of Phillip Schofield and people like him. The fact that, I mean, he was grooming an underage boy who then entered into a relationship with him. It is highly inappropriate, not unwise, inappropriate, the extreme, and he should be punished for that. And I don't think he should ever be on television again. Now, if he wants to apologize and do something else with his life, fantastic, he can be forgiven. But I don't want him to tell his side of the story live on Channel 5 or whatever. I don't need to see that. None of us should need to see that. It's a disgrace that he's been platformed but for grooming a young teenage boy. And everyone tried to make it out about, they play games, they twisted it. Oh, he's come out as gay. No. It's not about his sexuality.
No, he was
it's
forced
about the fact that it was a boy. No one cares that he was gay. He's in television, for goodness sake. It's the fact that it was an underage boy that he groomed and then entered into a relationship with. That is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he was already given a platform, by the way, in that BBC interview with Amal Rajan, where he strongly denied that he had groomed the boy. I was obviously quite involved in the story, Calvin, because I was working at ITV at the time, and I saw what happened. with this young kid and how he went from being very happy-go-lucky human being to then someone who was forced off this morning, given a job at Loose Women. It destroyed him, actually. It destroyed him. He had a breakdown. And my issue was not necessarily that Philip was in a relationship with him, although obviously it was something he was doing behind his wife's back. I mean, he was cheating on his wife and he was betraying his family. So that is a moral issue, of course. But it was the fact, Calvin, that ITV covered up the whole story to protect him. Yeah. Because there are some people who they are so desperate not to be allowed to be cancelled. And you compare Phillip Schofield to Katie Hopkins and you think, what did Katie Hopkins do? She's just as talented a broadcaster as Phillip Schofield. What did she do to get cancelled? But first, hot flashes, sleepless nights, weight gain, joint pain. I know a lot of you are dealing with or have dealt with these symptoms, especially the women in the Outspoken family. Now, obviously, I can't say I've experienced menopause firsthand, but I have heard from so many of you about the challenges that come with it. I'm coming to you with good news today. By now, most of you will have heard me talking about Verso, my launch sponsor. I've been taking their products for months, and it's been absolutely transformative for me. But today I want to focus on all of you amazing women out there, especially those dealing with menopause or perimenopause. I've heard from so many of you about how tough this phase of life can be. Well, Celbean by Verso is designed to target those symptoms head on by addressing the root cause. It's formulated with ingredients that are proven to increase NAD+ levels in the body. That's huge because NAD+ is what keeps your cells healthy and energized, but it drops off as we age and especially during menopause. Here's the thing. Boosting NAD+ can make a big difference in how you feel. Women who've taken Celbean are reporting some pretty amazing changes. Hot flashes disappearing, more energy, joint pain relief, weight loss, and mental clarity. I've even heard from some listeners who've told me their periods have come back or have become regulated and they feel like they've turned back the clock on aging. The ingredients in Celbean have been shown to balance hormones without going the traditional hormone therapy route. It also helps with inflammation and metabolism, which is especially helpful for managing weight and keeping you feeling your best. Plus, these research-backed ingredients have been shown to improve bone health, which is crucial for postmenopausal women at risk of osteoporosis. Now, what I love about Celbean, and I think you will too, is that it doesn't just mask the symptoms of menopause, it tackles the root causes of aging, helping you feel stronger, healthier, and more energized from the inside out. So if you haven't tried it yet and you're ready to take control of your health and feel more like yourself, click the link in the description on YouTube and Rumble or head over to ver.so and use the coupon code Outspoken at checkout to save 15% on your first order. So if you're tired of the sleepless nights, the hot flashes, or just feeling off, give Celbean a try. It's already helped so many of you, and I'm confident it can help even more to feel better. So let me repeat the website, www.buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code Outspoken.
I mean, having to work on Loose Women would be enough to send anyone into a breakdown. I'm giving that. But the problem is they tried to cover it up. You know, the people above him tried to cover it up. The reason he was shifted there is to be silenced away from Philip at that time. There were too many people at ITV that knew what was going on and covered it up for the sake of the show, their careers, Philip's protection. It's all very immoral, all very wrong. But you're right, there's also the adultery, the cheating on his wife and children, as well as the, let's just call it what it is, paedophilic grooming. And none of that has been addressed head on. They always make it about other issues. But I would say that there's something deeper going on here in the mainstream television, whether it's ITV or the BBC. There's a problem with paedophilia, and there's a problem with covering it up.
Of course, because who did we have standing up for Hugh Edwards? Calvin Robinson. We had John Sopel. We had Emily Maitlis. We had David Yellen. All of these major liberal left-wing figures saying Hugh Edwards has done absolutely nothing wrong. He should be returned to the BBC. And yet, with me, they were absolutely desperate to see me forced off television, initially based on a whole load of complete lies, and then because our mutual friend, Lawrence Fox, said he didn't want to shag a woman on TV. I mean, the priorities are nuts, but we see the agenda, don't we? We see the agenda.
We do. And as I've said many, many times, liberalism, the natural conclusion of liberalism is paedophilia. This everything goes, do what you want, live a sin-free life with no consequence and no conscience, do whatever you please, always ends up in the evils of paedophilia and worse.
But you
actually.
see liberals
So
now
it's
online
no
defending. There are liberals
It's no
online
surprise that
who
the
now
liberals are defending
defend paedophilia.
There's no surprise at all, because it's just another protected minority group, right? It's just a waste that people are born or they identify, and it's part of that. No, it's actually wrong, explicitly immoral, should be condemned, and should be ostracized out of society.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go so far as say we should probably hang pedophiles as well as rapists and murderers. But that would be seen as extreme, and my view would be the intolerable one. Whereas the one who's preying on young children, get it back on television. What is wrong with our upside down world? I do not know.
Well, no, indeed. And I totally agree with that. I guess I would say, though, Calvin, there is, I mean, I'm not excusing the behavior. I mean, you know how hard I campaigned against Phillip Schofield because I'd known what he'd done. Do you agree with me, though, that there is a difference in terms of Hugh Edwards' depravity compared to Phillip Schofield?
No, I wouldn't. I'd say different depravity. Hugh Edwards was looking at horrible images of child abuse, whereas Phillip Schofield was grooming a preteen, actually, by the time they met, groomed a very young boy into a relationship with him. Both of them are absolutely abhorrent, disgusting.
Because there are pictures of Phillip Schofield with that young boy.
I mean, I know people who know the boy. I know people who know the boy. Philip can try and twist it as much as he wants and get his friend Holly to do the same if he wants. But the fact of the matter is, he met him as a preteen in a school, and from that point on, he groomed him, continuously giving him praise and messages and staying in touch in an inappropriate way in order to form what eventually became a relationship. He could say, "Oh, we entered a relationship when he was of age." That's debatable, but either way, it started out way too early, and it's disgusting.
Well, yeah, by the time they were sleeping with each other in his ITV dressing room, he was of age. But the fact is, that's still not acceptable behaviour, is it? It's not acceptable behaviour. So, look, shame on Channel 5, really. Shame on Channel 5, but it probably will do well for them. And it was inevitable. Phillip Schofield was always going to come back. That was completely inevitable. And it will be interesting to see how he justifies it.
I thought it was done.
No, I didn't. I mean, look, the BBC had him on for a sympathetic interview where he actually decided to criticize people like me within days of his so-called cancellation. Whereas you don't see that platform being given to you or Lawrence Fox or Russell Brand or Tommy Robinson or me. This is all political. It's all part of the agenda. But at the end of the day, it will not work, because where is the power moving, Calvin? The independent media space. So, yep, the mainstream media might rehabilitate Phillip Schofield, but that's over. This Morning is over. ITV Daytime is over. The mainstream media is dying. So, actually, I think we can just watch on now and laugh and look at the complete mess as they make a bizarre decision to try and rehabilitate a guy who actually the public had already decided, you know what, we're just done with him. We're just done with him because he's a fake and he's a phony, and he's been a fake and a phony for years and years and years. And actually, we feel sorry for his wife. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.